And we are seeing devastating scenes from Maui today, showing the pure destruction a wildfire caused last week. Thanks for joining us. I'm Lisa Gonzalez. At least 96 people have died in the fire that tore through Lahaina town and other parts of Maui. Hundreds have lost their homes. Right now, there is a rush to get much needed donations to help the families seeking shelter and looking for food. Today, KCRA3 is teaming up with the American Red Cross to raise money for those affected. 90 cents of every dollar you donate goes to getting the shelter and supplies needed to the help to the families in need right now. We're talking about food, water, blankets, and toiletries, the very basics, daily essentials that many families in Maui just don't have after they raced from the flames that tore through their community.
Out of the car and ran for my life, ran down to the ocean.
And as locals are sharing their harrowing stories of escaping their flames, firefighters are battling flare-ups in the canyon areas of Kula, east of Lahaina. Helicopters are making drops from the air as crews on the ground are working to fully contain this fire. There's a lot of unknowns for families in Maui right now as they try to figure out the next steps for them. Jay Gray is in Maui right now. Jay is live for us. Jay, what have you seen in just the time that you've been there so far?
Yeah, overwhelming destruction, Lisa. It is really something that this island and most of us have never seen before. You talked about Kula, and that's where we are right now. And you can see where the fire ran up the hill here, just destroying this structure, leaving rubble and ash, some cinder blocks that are shattered here. And this type of scene, this type of destruction plays out for miles across the island, entire neighborhoods swallowed by flames. And you talked about the needs here, and I think it's a very important point. Just those basic necessities that so many of us take for granted. Clothes, medicine, food and water, desperately needed here right now. And it's an island, so getting that type of thing here is very difficult. That's what the struggle is on that end right now. We know that recovery teams continue to pour into the area as well. They're working around the clock overnight. The death toll went up by 3 to 96, 3 more victims uncovered as a result of this fire. And the governor of Hawaii saying he expects that number to climb, and it could be dramatically. There are 1,000 or more missing at this point. Obviously, some of those are perhaps with relatives or at friends' homes outside of the burn zone, don't have their phones, or they're in shelters and just haven't communicated. But still, there's a very real concern about what these teams are going to find as they work through the rubble like this. And when you talk about long-term here, and we're a long way from that, they've still got maybe 10 days, according to the governor, of search and recovery. But once they get to the point of trying to move forward, the big issue for many is going to be long-term housing. You've got so many families that have lost everything, that are displaced, Lisa, and then where are they going to stay for 9 months, 12 months, even longer while the rebuilding takes place? It's just going to be a tough go for a very long time here.
Yeah, and a couple of questions for you, Jay. First of all, you mentioned the cell phones and communicating. Yeah. Is cell service back up and working? Because I know it hadn't been.
It's patchy, to be honest. In some areas it's working. Here in Kula, we've had it on and off throughout the overnight and into what is now morning here. But yeah, there are some areas where there is no service. There is literally nothing. Yeah. And so that's a big issue, and why perhaps some of those missing haven't communicated to this point.
And I know they're using the radio to try and get the message out to, you know, people around the island. Jay, you've covered so many wildfires. I've covered them, you know, with you. This is just so unique because, as you said, it is an island, and so just getting shelter and getting basic necessities, this is just it's a game changer. Just the fact that it's on this island that's only, what, 50 miles from end to end at one point.
Right. And when you talk about a game changer, that's a perfect way to describe it, Lisa, because the things that you would normally do in this type of situation, and this is anything but normal, can't happen in any type of fast manner. Just getting things here, like you talk about, is a struggle, and it takes time, and that's time that a lot of the survivors here don't have and don't know how to spend because they don't have anything and they don't have anywhere to go. So you can understand why some are getting frustrated, worried about what comes next, as so many are, because of just the devastation that's surrounding them.
Absolutely. And when you landed there and just the people you've talked to, what have they said to you? What's the overall feeling right now?
You know, one of the things you hear a lot is that we are going to rebuild. We are going to come back. There is frustration. A lot of people concerned that warning sirens didn't sound when the fire was moving. Yeah. Officials have pushed back a bit, saying that those are for tsunamis and hurricanes and things like that, and they're not evacuation sirens. They say that they did use cell service, sending texts and making calls. But they also point out that this fire at its peak was moving at a mile a minute, raging firestorm. They say that getting out of the way likely wasn't something that was going to happen, regardless of how residents here were warned.
All right, Jay Gray reporting live for us. Thank you so much for the live report. And as federal agencies hit the ground in Maui, local volunteers have been stepping up to fill the gap since the tragedy first hit.
We've transformed our church gym into a sleeping space. We have showers, we have food, we have anything that you would need, and people have been utilizing our space, and we hope to be able to help more people.
We are seeing some big donations already today. We have just received $10,000 from the American Furniture Galleries. You can donate over the phone until 11:30 tonight. And there are 3 ways that you can donate if you would like to help out. You can scan the QR code at the bottom of your screen. You can also text Hawaii to 90999. That's 9999, or call 855-337-4483. That's 855-337-4483. Maybe take a picture of the TV right now so that you have the information. We also have all of this at kcra.com with a direct link to the donation page. Any donation is appreciated and can help families who have lost everything. Donations big and small.